Are you sure? Happy Hockey Day, Tiger fans. Welcome to game number 2 of the day. This one means something. Welcome to the semifinals of the President's Day tournament, our hometown tournament that we do host. After 3 straight wins in the pool play, your Tigers come away from pool B side as the top seed, which means a familiar face on the other half of the ice. That is the Lafayette Locomotives. This will be the 3rd time we've seen them in this month. The first was on the 1st of the month. We played them to a 3-3 tie. In our last meeting just last weekend in the league championships, we did drop the match 5-3. Hoping for a different result here at the Cadet Fieldhouse in the Clune Ice Arena, home of the Air Force Falcons on the beautiful Air Force Academy grounds. Fun facts for the Clune Arena. Built 57 years ago as a multi-purpose facility. It does have the ice rink you see in front of you. On the other side of this building, there is a basketball rink for the Air Force Cadet basketball squad. There is also an indoor track and field facility, though that is currently under construction. So lots of upgrades here at the Clune Arena these days. It is more beautiful by the day. It does sit at 7,080 feet. We'll see if the altitude has any impact, although this being home for our boys shouldn't have much of an impact at all. The story for tonight's game is going to be number 64 for the Lafayette Locomotives. As he goes, so goes the team. You don't want our boys to overcommit to him, but they certainly can't lose him in action and allow him to command. They do like the game of a stretch pass, so I would expect to see that their wingers will park on the far blue line and look for that outlet pass. Be prepared for icing calls, as those do tend to happen with their style of play. The other 1-2 seed game to determine championship versus a consolation match tomorrow is between NOCO and the Utah Junior Grizzlies squad that our team took on and defeated earlier today. Winners of the respective games, this one and that one, will go on to play tomorrow at 10:30. That game will be at the World Arena. The consolation match for 3rd and 4th place between the two losing squads in these semifinal matches will play at 10 o'clock tomorrow in Pueblo. Your Tigers wearing white tonight as the higher seed. They get to be the home team. It is Landon between the pipes. He was our goalie for the match we were able to tie against this squad. Though we were marching toward a win, we'll see if we can get ahead and stay ahead this time. Steven lined up on your far wing saying hello to some old friends, as this is a team he did used to play for. Henry set to take the faceoff with Brody as your near side wing. Josh on defense with Marshall. That puck won back to Josh, sends it up to Steven. Steven can't quite gather it. Turning and losing his skates there is our friend, number 64. He's going to take it the full length of the ice and try and set up that stretch pass. Not able to do so. Steven holds the zone. Battling in the corner is Steven. Lafayette able to get it as far as the blue line. Marshall jams it back in deep, misses wide far side. Puck rims around far side corner. Good breakout pass here for Lafayette, but the Tigers defense there to control the zone entry, slow things down. Lafayette able to gather in the zone, can't get that puck deep, and this is Henry headed back the other direction. Couple of Tigers making a change. Luckily, Henry able to regather the puck there. Josh takes it in deeper, looks to load up. Player in the shooting lane, so he just jams it deep below the goal line. Teague on the ice with AJ and Colton. Jared back on defense. Josh now headed for a change as the second defenseman out will be Tate. AJ tries to swing that back in deep, only gets us as far as Jared. Now makes its way to center ice, not Tate on the ice, that's Cruin. Cruin dances, takes the contact, but able to get his hands down, get the puck. AJ tries a cross-ice pass, cut off there by the Lafayette squad, sends it back the other direction, tapped up the near boards by Cruin, where Colton's able to gather in the neutral zone and get that shot onto the gut of the goalie with 13:34 in the first period. Easton will head out for the offensive zone faceoff with Miles to his near side. Hunter in front of the net. Back on defense, it's our friend the Pie Man for his first appearance tonight. Near side D, joined by Tate on the far side D. That puck is swept into the corner. Hunter flashes to it. He has his support of Miles. Puck is still uncontrolled. Comes to the near side boards. Miles tries to twist it up to Henry, but extra traffic for the Locomotives, and here they go chugging the other direction. Dumped into the zone, and the Lafayette player is the first one to get there, though good pressure behind. He's able to twist it back. Second Lafayette player gets there, sends that across the center of the crease to the far side, finds its way to Hunter's stick. He gets it up the ice. Now Tate has it with time and space, sends it up to Hunter, who gains the center of the ice. Now the Tigers offensive zone makes the pass across to Miles. Miles working on that far side, has the support of Hunter as well. And here comes Lafayette again, the other direction, gets it into their offensive end of the ice. This is Pie Man picking it up below the goal line, setting it up to Hunter. Hunter bringing it along the near boards. Battling there, takes the first contact, takes a second, shoves it into the Tigers offensive end, and goes for a change. Fresh on the ice is Preston. This is our lately a goal-scoring line for us here. Gavin, Preston, and Jack. Jack whacks that back up ice. Doesn't get it past the Lafayette player. Now does get it past that one. Gavin jumps toward the puck, but Lafayette able to turn it back the other direction. This is Marshall forcing the turn of direction for Lafayette. Sent across ice to the other defender, who puts it back deep for Lafayette number 21. Stick lift there by the Pie Man works. That's Gavin able to push the puck up toward Preston. That did not make it all the way through traffic to Landon. Jack putting the pressure on in the neutral zone. Lafayette will skate it around to the near side here. Josh fresh on defense, able to get the puck. Handles it at center ice. That one deflects up into the Tigers bench with 11:35 in the first period. Center ice faceoff is going to be taken by Henry with Brody on the near side, Steven on the far side, Josh back on defense with Marshall. Ref behind the faceoff resets the boys. That puck is one back. Josh turns, looks. He's going to tap it up the near boards to Brody. Doesn't quite get there, so Lafayette able to hold the zone. This is Josh on number 64 working in the corner. They are able to get it out to the blue line, dump it back into 64. He takes a shot into the skates of Henry in front of him. Puck goes all the way down. Henry attacks there. Brody now working to gain the zone, swept off his stick by 64. But in the far end of the ice, he'll rim that around. And this is Steven putting on fantastic effort on the boards. Henry comes away with it. Funky shot, had some trouble, but did just go wide near side. Brody working in the corner along with the support of Steven. And this is Brody still playing with the puck. That does come up as far as the half boards where the Lafayette player was waiting for it. Onto the ice as Colton loses his stick. Brody makes contact on the near side. Puck is there. He's going to take it and go. Onto the ice for the Tigers is Teague. Now AJ as well. This is AJ coming. He steps around the player, gets it in Centering pass works, but can't get it lifted enough to Teague. Save made by the Lafayette goalie and break out the other direction. This is Jared tapping it back up ice to Teague. Teague dumps it into the zone. That takes a bounce off. The goalie tries to tap it to the corner. Colton finishes the contact centering pass, can't get through, and now again Lafayette the other direction. They'll lift it down the ice. Jared gets it, has to skate it all the way down, finally reverses direction, pinned to the board. Teague lifts that dangerously in front. Landon has to steer it aside. This is Cruin working. Now AJ trying to pull the puck out. Stick lift there. Jared sends the puck near side boards. This is Colton with it, lifts it up towards center ice, and Teague going to go for a change. All three forwards, in fact, headed for a change. Miles on the ice, Hunter as well. That one comes up into the stands. Watch your heads. And that'll be an offensive zone faceoff for the Tigers with 9:29 in the first period. Out up front, it is Hunter, Easton, and Miles. Back on defense, it's our friend, the Pie Man, and Tate. Change is coming. Coach going to send out a fresh three in Gavin, Preston, and Jack. Not into the offensive zone. It will be a neutral zone faceoff. Puck finally possessed, sent into the zone by the Lafayette Locomotives. That takes a funny hop behind the goal. Jammed out to the far boards, sent back in below the goal line. Tate working to try and pressure the puck carrier there. And a battle does ensue. It's Tate and Gavin battling below the goal line, trying to prevent any opportunities from coming to fruition for the Locomotives squad. Gavin pulling at the puck, does finally get it up. Bit up the boards, finds Preston there. Preston able to get it out as far as center ice, but sent right back in by Lafayette. That will be an icing with 8:47 in the first. Coach will now put out Easton, Miles, and Hunter for the offensive zone faceoff. It'll be Josh and Marshall back on defense, 24 and 34, working together to hold the blue line. Puck pushed back toward the defense. Marshall steps up and jams that to the near boards where Hunter gathers it, sends it, skates it deep. He tries to twist one toward the center there. Nobody home but a Lafayette stick, and so a break out the other direction. And that's an offsides. It'll be number 64 on the faceoff, opposed by Easton. Hunter on the near side boards, Miles on the far side wing. That puck stays where it's at. Miles jams it back, but the Lafayette defender lifts it into the zone, rims around near side for Josh. Josh surveys, sends it up toward Hunter, but cut off by number 64, who skates it in. Misses that bad on the back far side of the net, and this will be a penalty on number 64. Looks like a trip. So your Tigers headed to the power play. With 8:14 in this first period, your Tigers headed to the man advantage, and they have, it looks like they called a cross check there. So your Tigers headed to the man advantage. That did work for them earlier today a couple of times. We'll see if it pays off again here. Steven will be taking the face-off with Brody on the near side. Easton in front of the net. Josh back on defense, joined by Henry. Puck stays where it's at. Easton can't pull it out of the skates. And so Lafayette gets it to center ice and will dump it all the way down, as you should in a penalty kill situation. Henry loses his skates. Josh takes a look ahead of him. He's going to survey his options, decides to leave it for Steven. Steven can't quite control it, sends it back across to Josh. Josh gets it as far as center ice, then across the blue line into the zone for the Tigers. He'll hold off on those far boards. Puck squirts out towards center. Nobody wanted to go get it. Finally coming away with it was Josh, who tries a wraparound attempt. Is saved with 7:34 on the clock in the first period, 1:21 left on the penalty. to number 64 of Lafayette. Coach will leave our 5 out there. Steven set for the face-off. Again, Easton in front of the net, Brody on the wall. Steven wins that toward Easton. Easton now gets it, turns and looks. He's got time and space, dances around the first guy, takes it behind the net. And net kicked off with 1:13 left on the penalty. We will have another face-off. Steven twists that back again. Easton able to collect it. This time gives it to Josh. Josh back to Easton. Walks it to the center. Now to Josh. Josh across to Henry. Henry turns up on those far boards. Now below the goal line. Brings it back near side. This is Easton with the puck. Jams it back towards Steven. Steven working below the net. Tries to reverse direction. Gets pinched off now onto the stick of the Lafayette player. Easton steps up to hold the puck. Makes its way up the near board. Steven makes the contact there, but Lafayette able to lift it the other end as we have 35 seconds left. Tiger's gonna have to go the length of the ice. This is Josh trying to do so. This is Steven with the puck, takes the shot wide. That's gonna be gloved dead by the Lafayette goalie with 23 seconds left on the power play, 6:36 in the first. Not able to generate much here on the power play yet today, have the Tigers this match. Trying for the last 23 seconds, it's going to be Miles near side, AJ in front of the net, Cruin back on defense with Pieman. Colton takes the face off, finds its way to AJ's stick, who twists a backhander off the side of the cage. Miles now working in that near corner. AJ goes and peels the puck up, knocked back below the goal line by the Lafayette defender. Miles gets it on that far side. He'll twist it back below the goal line where AJ is going to have to go get it. 5 seconds now left on the power play. AJ tries to sweep that up the boards, then turns and gets another backhand shot. Couple of things directed toward the net here in the waning seconds. Now 5-on-5 hockey, 6:11 in the first period. Coach is going to send out. He'll get the lines right. It's going to be AJ in front of the net. Colton taking the face-off with Teague to the near side. Josh back on defense with Marshall. This is Josh stepping up, tapping the puck deeper, but Lafayette able to collect and send it the other direction. That skater sees a couple of Tigers in front of him, tries to make the cross-ice pass, and good defense by the Tigers prevents anything from connecting there. Now Colton able to bring it the other direction, sweeps it. AJ collects, gains his speed zone with some speed, gets it lower. Quick change of direction there. Puck gets through to the goalie, who fights it off, sends it into the far corner. Puck gets sent up, and that'll go all the way down for an icing with 5:37 in the first period. Still a 0-0 game in this semifinal match. Easton going to take your face off with Miles on his near side wing. Brody in front of the net. Josh and Marshall back on defense. One toward Miles. Miles takes the hit from behind there, but hand stays down. This is number 64 gaining the zone. Forced to turn. Now dancing on the near side. Able to get through a couple of defenders, get the shot. Landon swallows that up to make the save and keep it at 0-0 for your Tigers in this match. Jared heads out on defense. He'll be joined by Cruin. Henry's going to take the face off with Brody and Steven, I do believe. That is Brody attacking the puck up the near side wall, able to cut it off and twist it out of the zone where Henry's working at center ice to get the puck, gets it. Being pestered from behind here, but Henry keeps working, keeps his skates, and gets it as far as the corner. Now below the goal line, Lafayette has it, but pestered by Henry. Effort will win the day if they can keep it up. That puck does come out all the way to center ice, but your Tigers defenders disciplined, staying home. Good drag move there, but can't get the puck onto the net for a shot, could Lafayette. Cross ice pass works here. Brody steps up. That's sent wide near side. Jared taps it up to Steven. Steven jams that up the boards and kicked out by Henry. Henry going for a change as Brody pressures on the near side. Twisted there by Lafayette. Good drag there, but forced to turn back. Cruin playing good defense. Cross ice pass can't connect clean. Cruin gathers the puck in the crease and sent back out to center ice. This is Preston working along with Gavin. Now Gavin pushing the puck up the near boards. And this game is getting physical. We'll see if our boys can keep their heads. Jack, Preston, and Gavin are your forwards. That goes all the way for icing. Tate and Pyman, I believe, are your defensemen right now. .403 in this first period. Pyman on the near side, D. Tate on the far side. Gavin set to take the face-off. Puck stays where it's at, eventually kicked to the corner by the Lafayette center, but working to go get it there was Preston. Comes up the far side, not able to hold the zone are your Tigers, and that will be an offsides. Coach sending out Teague, AJ, and Colton up front for this face-off. Pyman and Tate will stay as your defensemen. AJ on the near side wing, Teague on your far side wing. Teague, not Tate. Again, puck stays where it's at on the drop. Everybody just trying to get it peeled out. AJ thought he had it, but instead ends up on the stick of number 46, not 64, for Lafayette. This is Pyman working below the goal line. Tate bumps off the other forward for Lafayette. Colton's going to lift that up to center ice and try and go get it himself. Puck was left, but Lafayette first one there. AJ cuts off that pass. Then tapped out by Pyman. AJ sends that across for Teague, and Teague's going to gain the zone. Gets the shot and into the gut of the goalie with 3:13. Tigers are getting shots, not anything real high quality yet, but keep pouring at the net and eventually things will come. Easton will take the drop. It'll be Miles on the near side, Hunter on the far side. Cruin back on defense with Jared. Able to win that back was Easton. Jared sends it across to Cruin, who had a great shot there, shrugged off high by the Lafayette goalie, and that is an offsides, but a good set face-off play for the Tigers that's worked well. Win it back to the far side D. The near side D will crash into the slot and take the shot. Great shot there by Cruin. Good opportunity created by the team. Puck finally makes its way back to the Lafayette defenseman. They send it up the near boards, and it's not going to go far enough for an icing. This is Jared having to carry it below the goal line. He gets bodied off of the play there, trying to twist it in front is Lafayette, but Miles able to gather it and get it out as far as center ice. He loses his skates, hops back up. Jared working now to get the puck further the other direction. Miles pulls it out. Cross pass to Hunter, but a little bit behind him. Working there was Easton. And now here we go back the other direction. Jared picking up the pressure, shot and gloved dead by Landon. Be a defensive zone faceoff for the Tigers with 2:20 in this first period. Still 0-0. Teams feel like they're feeling each other out a bit. They're familiar with each other, just trying to see who's going to make that push first. It's going to be Henry taking the faceoff with Brody and Steven as his line mates. This is Josh working on the near side defense, Marshall on the far side. That puck twisted below the goal line for Lafayette. Puck comes up to the defenseman. He sends it back to number 64. 64 makes the nice pass through, but can't do anything with it. Ken, the winger, now comes back to the defense. This is Brody making a great play there to keep the puck from getting too deep. That looked like it was a bump in the back, but they're going to let it go. Josh working, now Brody again with the puck, able to get it across to Steven. Good pass there. Steven's going to take a great shot and almost squeaked in on the backside there. Steven jamming that in at an angle, and here comes Lafayette the other way with speed. Marshall will turn and steer the puck carrier. Misses on the contact, but does enough to keep the puck from getting into any dangerous spots. Now Henry will head back the other direction. He's getting bodied as a bunch of Tigers make a change. Henry just going to dump that. Teague on the ice here. Pass across there, can't connect for Lafayette. Colton cuts it off, gains the zone. He turns, tries to make the centering pass onto the Lafayette stick. Teague now has it, and he's just going to dump it deep. AJ working to go get it. He gets it below the goal line. Gets it across to Teague. Teague can't pull the trigger quite fast enough. Gets the shot. AJ to Colton. Colton gets a shot there. Kick saved by Lafayette. AJ again picking up the puck below the goal line. Pushes it to Teague. Teague now trying to jam it back to AJ, who pulls it out. AJ, a lot of action here. Made its way to the blue line. Now Colton going to swing it back deep. And finally, Lafayette just going to send that all the way down for an icing with 26 seconds in this first period. Good shift for your Tigers there. Plenty of opportunities created. For the finish of this first period, it looks like it will be Miles on the near side wing, Hunter in front of the net on the far side wing. Easton will take the face-off with Josh on the near side D, Marshall on the far side D. Puck is won back. Josh able to jam that to Marshall. Marshall twists it in front, and that will do it. Goal number 1 of the day is in favor of your Tigers in this semifinal match. That's Easton slamming it home on the back door. Again, that set face-off play. Josh was running out of time and space, but was able to get it across to Marshall. Marshall, I believe, able to get it to... Might have been Marshall jamming it across there, actually, to Easton on the backdoor tap in, making it 1-0 late in this first period. 19 seconds to go. Twisted to Hunter, who jams that up, and a good stick there. Another puck up into the stands with 13 seconds. Easton set to take the faceoff with 13 seconds remaining in this period. Hunter on your near side wing, Miles on your far side wing. Pieman is your defender. This is Easton kicking it into the zone, trying to get another shot, and does. Fought off by the goalie. Second attempt by Hunter, gloved dead, was loose. So Tigers hungry to score another, and that'll do it. Fantastic opportunities created here for the Tigers late in the first period. They want the championship game, and they're going to play for it. What we know here is this team has to keep skating this whole game. As you remember from the beginning of the month, we took that I think it was a 2-0 lead with a little time left in the third period. Ended up being 2-1 with, I believe, about 2 minutes left, then a shorthanded goal with a minute and a half left to make it a 2-goal lead, and still finished that one as a tie. And so got to play all the way to the finish here. Still early, still lots of time left to go. This arena seats 5,080, according to Wikipedia, though they have added a few more. Few shy of that in attendance tonight. As Landon heads back to the pipes on the other end this time. We'll head to the second period. Your Tigers take a 1-0 lead into the second period of this semifinal match against the Lafayette Locomotives. Starting line for this second period is going to be Colton in at center. Teague is going to be your near side wing. AJ on the far side wing. Cruin and Jared back on defense. That puck drop stays where it's at. Whacking at it there is Colton, who finishes the contact. Sent across ice D to D there by Lafayette. Tried to get it through center and did. That is a powerful shot, but sticked aside by Landon. Never any really danger there. And that pass cut off by AJ. He'll head the other direction. Brings it to the near side. He's got Colton in front, turns, takes the shot, blocker down. Colton couldn't get the backhand on it. Held there by Jared. Good pass to Teague. Teague misses wide far side as Colton goes for the change. Henry onto the ice for the Tigers. Teague now changing, so Steven will take his place. This is Henry getting up slow, and hopefully he's okay. He's going to go change quick after taking a high hit. There's been a few of those tonight, but they're letting them play. This is Cruin passing, and a little bit of a sloppy pass there. Almost costs your Tigers, as that one's just off the side of the cage. One that 64 doesn't miss often. That one's still loose in front. Finds its way behind. That's Easton working to prevent 64 from doing anything. He's got it in the corner. Cruin picks up the pressure. Brody working there as well, makes its way to the point, and this one will be covered and smothered by Landon with 13:37 in the second period. Coach going to send out Josh and Marshall on defense. Up front it will be Miles, Hunter, and Colton, as we keep an eye on Henry, as it looks like we might be rolling a couple of centers here. Easton skating off for the Tigers. Lafayette wins that face-off back, jams it into the corner. Marshall turns, looks, anticipates the contact. Centering pass made, puck, couple of shots, and rebounds left. Now Miles working to try and get it out of the danger zone for the Tigers. Finally does get sent down the ice. And that will go far enough for an icing with 13:15 in this second period. Marshall, Josh in on defense. Colton is a center for this line of Miles and Hunter. Puck stays where it's at. Lafayette skates in, gets it back to defense, but a good stick by Miles to get that out of the zone and head the other direction. He is slowed down and loses his skates. Hunter and Colton there being pesky below the goal line. Able to scoop it briefly is Hunter. Now turns it and twists it toward the center. Nobody there but number 26 for Lafayette, who skates it far side. Sends it all the way down, and that will go for an icing. Offensive zone faceoff for your Tigers with 12:48 in this second period. Coach is going to send out Tate on defense. Your forward line looks to be Jack, Steven, and Gavin. Defense, I believe, is Tate and Pyman. So Gavin takes the drop, wins that back to Pyman. Pyman sends it in for Tate. Tate can't quite handle that one, but he'll battle in the corners. Now below the goal line to try and sweep that in front. Still working is Tate. They fell on his stick, but they don't call anything there. That'll twist up the near boards and come out. Fortuitous bounce. Tying up the skater, though, is Pyman. Now Preston picks it up and twists it back into the neutral ice area. They're going to say no icing, so Gavin will pressure on the far end of the ice. Turning back the other direction is Lafayette. They'll hammer it up, and that's going to go all the way for an icing. With 12:10 in the second period, your Tigers protecting a 1-0 lead. Looks like Henry is good to go, back on the ice at center for our squad. He'll be joined by his line mates of Steven and Brody. Jared back on defense with Cruin. And we'll see if our set face-off play can work yet again here. Didn't like the drop. We'll put a new white, they say, in at the dot. Boys talking it over for who's going to take it. Henry will be the man. Steven will rotate into the front wing in front of the net. Brody on the near side. Puck was one back. Steven goes and jams it into the corner. Good effort here, using his body to protect against a couple of defenders. Now Brody stepping in to help out, brings it near side. Making the moves, but can't make the pass yet as he's been pressured well. Now Steven collects the puck, and he's going to jam it along behind the goal. This is Henry picking it up. He'll work on that far side. Makes a centering pass. Brody taps it. Steven can't finish there, as the puck never did quite get settled down. Bouncy pucks are tough to hit. Brody gets tied up. Steven has it. Makes the centering pass, but a stick lift on Henry works out. Now Jared having to work to go get the puck at the far end. He'll jam it up these near side boards where Henry's able to gather the zone with some speed. Takes the shot, misses wide far side. Brody gets it on the bounce off the boards behind the net. He drops to his knees, and Lafayette able to come away with it, but he also falls down. Brody trying to get the puck back, but bodied off there. Colton on the ice with Teague. This is Cruin, though, with the puck behind the play. Sends it across to Teague. Teague taps it near side for Colton. He's got AJ and Teague in front. Misses Teague. AJ going to go get it out of the corner. Tries to bat it toward the flashing Teague, but the Lafayette player in the way. They send it up near side, but Marshall able to hold it in. Colton's just going to send that into the glove of the waiting Lafayette goalie with 10:35 in the second period. Marshall and Josh are your defenders. Marshall here on the near side. Josh will be on the far side. Easton set to take the face-off with Miles in front of the net. Hunter on the near side boards. That puck went soft toward the boards. Hunter couldn't get there. The Lafayette player lost his skates, but rimmed around to the other side. Not able to hold the zone was Josh. Josh will pass it back to Marshall. Marshall jams that up the near boards, comes off the boards to Miles. Miles hits it into the legs of the player in front of him. Easton can't quite get that shot off, and the puck just happens to be out of reach lately. Miles jams that wide near side, and off those far side boards. The puck is just, nobody can quite manage to hang on to the puck right now. And here goes Lafayette the other way. This is number 64. But Josh gets in the way, and that goes up into the netting behind with 9:53 in the second period. Your Tigers holding on to that 1-0 lead. Coach sending out the fresh five. It'll be Pyman back on defense, joined by Tate. Up front, it's going to be Steven, Brody, and Henry. I believe Henry. As the puck comes up on Steven's stick, he's going to work to gain the zone. Skated off the stick there, but staying on the pressure. Lafayette jams it up those far boards, but Brody there to cut off the first attempt. Now Henry hugging off the next player, sent across ice by Brody to Steven. Steven working on the near boards, trying to find someone to push the puck to. Goes through the skates of the Lafayette defenseman. Now he'll rim it all the way around, and that's going to make it down for another icing with 9 minutes, 20 seconds in the second period. Offensive zone faceoff going to be taken with Jared back on the near side, D. Cruin on the far side. It's going to be Gavin taking that drop with Jack in front of the net. Able to possess it there for a while was Gavin, and finally he does recollect and gets the shot. Ref blows that one dead. It was loose. So Gavin kept playing it, but there was a whistle there. They will blow it dead if they can't see it. That's the right thing to do. You want to protect the goalies. It is Preston on that far side wing for this face-off. And that is jammed to the near side boards. Jack pressures, does get past Jared, but Cruin able to collect it at center ice and lift it into the offensive end for the Tigers. They'll dump and chase. Jack able to pressure and hold the puck below the goal line. Comes out and a quick collect and backhand for Gavin. That'll be an assist for Jack. A beautiful backhand jam in for Gavin to make it 2-0 with 8:52 in this semifinal match. Great effort by Jack there to go and get the puck below the goal line, hold it there, finally able to sweep it to the side of the cage where Gavin grabbed it and jammed it home. These boys got plenty of work to do. That was Colton cutting off the pass. AJ jams it forward a little harder than he meant to, but the backhand there to Teague, who gloves it down to himself. The goalie's just going to smother this one with 8:37. Tigers looking to build on the momentum. It's Colton in at center, AJ on the near wing. Teague will be in front with Josh and Marshall back on defense, and this Josh-Marshall pairing is the one that paid off on our first goal. Can't win that back, though, this time could Colton. A couple of centers getting tangled up. Teague working in the corner, and number 64 now heads the other direction. Loses his skates, though, so AJ gets it, twists it back across ice. Unfortunately, the only one there is a Lafayette player who sends it on net. Landon awake and ready, able to send that into the corner. AJ gets that out as far as center ice. Colton will pick up the pressure there. And making the move around is Lafayette. Landon has to battle this one off, and it looks like a delayed penalty on your Tigers. This will be trouble, as this Lafayette squad is good on the with the extra man. It is a high stick. Looks like it goes against Colton. So Lafayette will have the man advantage, and they are good with it. Stats say one of the best in the state, if not the best. They've got the most power play goals of any team in Colorado. Coach will send out Easton and Hunter to slow them down, along with the help of Cruin and Jared. That's Hunter flashing. Cross ice pass works. That deflects off the board, off the crossbar and up into the netting. Only 8 seconds burned in the power play thus far. Easton set to take the faceoff against number 64. Puck won back lightly by Easton, which works out because anything tangled up makes them work a little harder to get it out. Eventually they do get it across. That's loose in front of Landon, still loose, but does go below the goal line. Working there, does come up to the near boards, far boards there, dances around Hunter, makes a pass across. Landon able to move over and get that one wide. Hunter flashing, pass across again, gets through. That again goes off the post and comes up to the near side. Hunter finally able to jam that out, goes up into the Lafayette bench, and that should be a face-off out of the zone. And is. Coach will send out Josh and Marshall on defense with 1:21 left on the penalty kill for your Tigers. Steven and Henry will be your forwards. Puck one to the far boards. Lafayette able to control it, but now onto the stick of Josh, who looks to jam that up, but not out. Collected and held at the blue line by 64, who dances it in, takes a shot, fought off by Landon. Puck is loose. He sweeps it aside, near side. Lafayette gets it back to their defenseman. Cross ice pass works. Trying to set it up here is Lafayette. Tigers just working to keep it outside. Shot gets into the legs of Marshall as we're at 50 seconds left in the penalty kill. Going down was Marshall. That is gloved down by Landon. Up to the half boards. Back to the defenseman here. Now to the far side, back to center ice. They take the shot, and that does go through. Traffic for goal number 1 for Lafayette with 33 seconds left on the Colton high-sticking penalty. That makes it a 1-goal lead for your Tigers, 2-1 with 6:35 in the second period. Out to get it back will be Easton in at center. Miles on your near wing, Hunter on that far wing. As this is Tate collecting the puck, getting it up to Easton. Easton jams it up far side to Hunter. Hunter sends it across to Miles, takes a bounce off his stick and is now on those far boards, jammed up as far as the blue line, but pushed back in by Pieman. Hunter able to get a shot toward the net, but deflected up off the Lafayette stick into the glass behind. Good pass from Hunter to Miles. Miles misses far near side. Tate able to jam that again back in deep. And when the boys have put on the forecheck, it has paid off. Let's see if they figure that out. Miles able to jam that into Easton. He turns and looks for somebody in front. Nobody there, so he'll take it below the goal line. Loses his skates in the corner. Miles picks up the pressure now. And Lafayette able to come away with it, jam it up the near boards, but can't get the centering pass there. Lifted high, and that's going to go all the way down for an icing with 5:31 in this second period. Coach will send out Colton as your center. AJ on the near boards. Teague will be in front of the net. Jared will be back on the near side defense. Cruin on the far side D. That is won by Colton toward AJ, who can't handle the puck before the Lafayette player. Skated behind the net. Teague jams one toward the goalie, who's down and waiting. But Colton has possession of the puck, runs into the ref, then taken out behind the goal line there, lifted up toward the blue line. Jared will bat that down and have to regain the zone. Shoved, that's sent in, and I believe that was an offsides. 5:08 in the second period. Your Tigers protecting a 1-goal lead, 2-1. Coach sending out Brody, Steven, and Hunter up front. It'll be Josh and Marshall back on defense. Henry set to take the face off, twists it back to Marshall. Marshall across to Josh. Josh taps it up the boards into the zone where Brody jams it in deeper, loses his skates. Parents in the stands wanted an interference there. These refs haven't been calling that particular play. Brody working to get it out of his skates, can't. Lafayette jams it up, and here they go the other direction. Number 64 able to get around Josh, but swept loosely toward Landon, who can't cover it up there. So recollected, centering pass made, takes a funny bounce. Puck comes up the side of the cage, but Henry working to get it into the corner for the Tigers. Josh picks up the pressure below the goal line. Henry tries to get it up to Steven. Steven sends it across ice, and now a race to get there first. Marshall able to tangle up the defender, but the puck jammed back deep into the defensive zone. Can't get it out, can the boys. Now twisted off the stick, and that was certainly high. But again, the ref letting them play here. Now up to the blue line. Sent wide far side. Centered here. And Tigers letting them move the puck here. That one goes off the post. Had a chance. Now Henry just going to send it down ice so that they can get a change with 3:36 in this second period. It's going to be Tate back on defense, joined by Pieman. Gavin will be your center with Preston and Jack. Puck moved back to the defense. Landon kicks that aside far side. Jack's going to lift that backhand up out of the zone. Preston goes and puts on the pressure on the far end of the ice, sent up near side wall, but held at the blue line by Tate. Does get into the zone, but lifted back out, so Lafayette going to have to regroup. Tate putting on the pressure. Now Preston picking up the pressure. Jack on the far side holding it across center ice. Gavin able to jam it a little bit further. Jack with the stick lift there, twisted towards center ice. Pieman has it, sees Preston near side, connects there. Preston able to get in the zone for the Tigers, get it below the goal line. Now to the far corner. Jammed back below the goal line by Lafayette. Twisted up, and that'll go down the ice. They say no icing. It's not going to make it that far anyway. Has it, takes it below the goal line, reverses it across to Jack Pieman, who gets it up to Hunter on the ice for the Tigers. As is Miles going to go get it out of the corner here, twists it. I thought he was going to throw that to the center, but I don't know if anybody was there. So Miles going to go work it below the goal line. He's squeezed out of the play. Easton picks it up. On Easton's backhand to forehand to Hunter to shot, and just misses on the backside, does that one. This is Easton going to work on the near boards. That's Jared working and as defense. Easton's going to go get it in the corner. He backhands it up the near boards. Hunter picks up the pressure there to try and get it back in and amongst three Lafayette players, and they will get that high hit as his elbow was right in the cage. Miles tries to jam that one home, and the Tigers are going to go on the power play with 1:52 in this second period. So with the extra man attack, power play opportunity for your Tigers late in this second period, 1:52 remaining in this second period. It's going to be Steven taking the face-off. Looks like Easton on the near wing. That's Brody working around with Steven on this near side. Easton now getting the puck on the far side. Back on defense, it's Henry and Josh, and having to keep an eye on over their shoulders here are the Tigers, as we don't want to give up something shorthanded. Number 64 takes it all the way down. Backhand takes a high bounce, comes down in front of Steven, who's going to head the other direction for your Tigers. Centering pass works. Brody jams it, but the Lafayette goalie able to glove that dead. 1:27 left on the power play for your Tigers. 1:18 left in the period. Coach going to send out 5 new skaters. It'll be Colton as your center, Miles on the far wing, AJ on the near wing. Pieman will be your defender on the near side, with Cruin as your other defenseman. Number 64 set to take the face-off on the other side of Colton. He does win it back into the corner. Miles is going to go put the pressure on below the goal line, but it does rim around near side. Able to hold it at the blue line is Pieman. Colton shovels it on net. Now lifted back to the blue line where Cruin gets it. He'll skate it in a little bit deeper. Pressure picked up by Miles. Now AJ going over. Number 64 loses his skates. AJ has the puck briefly, but just loses it there. Puck goes high, gloved down by 64. Kicked forward into the skates of Colton, who slips on the puck. And missing on that shot is Lafayette. AJ going to go work on the far boards. Now Cruin, and finally does find its way to Pieman's stick. Pieman jams it up towards Colton, but can't connect on the pass. So puck loose at center ice. 24 seconds left in this second period. Pieman goes back to get it. He's got Colton standing at the far blue line. Pieman gets it up as far as our defensive blue line, sends it across to Cruin, and not able to create here are the Tigers. Centering pass works. 5-4-3-2, and that's going to do it for this second period. Sloppy power play pressure there for your Tigers to finish the second period. Only 8 seconds left on the penalty to Lafayette to start this third and final frame of a semifinal match. Your Tigers head into the third period with a 1-goal lead, 2-1. If your boys keep the pressure high, if they back check, if they forecheck, they can do this. But they've got to keep their feet moving and just make smart plays. Uh, really, they've been able to cause frustrations when they forecheck if they don't let Lafayette have a bunch of time to make decisions. Go. 15 minutes on the board. Third period, Tigers 1-goal lead. Here we go. Stevens set to take the face-off. Brody on the near side wing. Looks like Marshall on the far side wing for that face-off. Josh back on defense. Not sure which Tiger lost his skates there. Was Henry. So I think that was just a setup for that center ice face-off. Henry is going to be the wing here. He jams that across to Steven, who's just going to sweep it in deep. Comes around near side where Brody's going to pick up the pressure. He lays the hit so that Henry can jam it deep. Steven gets it, sends it back to Josh. Josh has to settle the bouncing puck, runs out of time, so he'll jam that back deep into the Tigers zone. Henry comes away with it, but loses it into the skates in front of him. That takes a fortuitous bounce to Brody, who jams it into the corner. Steven headed for a change. It is Miles onto the ice for the Tigers as Lafayette comes back the other direction. This is Marshall picking up the pressure. Puck finds its way into his skates. Miles ties up the puck carrier and tapped out to center ice. Hunter gathers and jams it into the zone for the Tigers. He's going to go to work below the goal line, twists it to the center, but nobody home. Tate and Josh are going to have to work. Tate able to knock that off the stick of the first person, but here comes number 64. Backhand opportunity, can't get that elevated. Rebound left, it's on the side of the cage. And the puck is loose in the corner. Miles is going to have to go get it there. Puck is up high, bounces out, shot taken. That comes up near side, stick to side by Landon. Miles able to tap that up ice. Here comes Hunter with Miles. Hunter twists a great pass to Miles. Pass across the center of the crease there, but nobody there to slap it in. So now back the other direction we go. Pieman picking up the pressure this time. Tate in front of the net helping out Landon as Lafayette will take that all the way around. Leaving it in the corner. Centering pass can't connect cleanly. It's AJ Easton, no, scratch that. Teague, Easton are your forwards with Hunter. That comes out to the far boards where Teague gets it and jams it up ice. Easton going to go for a change, as is Hunter. Teague, Colton, and AJ now your line of forwards as Tate jams that up the near boards, takes a bounce out that AJ can't quite sweep forward the first time, does the second time, now battling at center ice. Colton knocked off the puck. AJ collects it, shoots it, gets it past the guy in front of him. Goalie had to fight that one off, makes its way to the far corner as Teague sweeps it to Colton. Colton off the side of the cage. Collected by Lafayette. They'll bring it up center ice. And that's jammed into the Tigers zone. Tate going to go get it. Tries to sweep it, bodied off there, sent up into a dangerous spot, but missed wide near side. Tate jams that up to Teague. Teague across to AJ, but just behind him to where he couldn't handle it. AJ tries to send it to Colton and behind him, but Colton sweeps it off the stick of the Lafayette player and goes for a change. This is Preston battling as the rest of his squad was making a change. Gavin able to get it, dumps it into the offensive end for the Tigers. Gavin, Preston, and Jack are your forwards. This is Jack working near boards. Cruin on defense with Jared. Lafayette comes up the far side. able to get the centering pass but lose his skates. So now Cruin taps it up to Jack. Jack jams it into the offensive end. Working below the goal line is Jack. Comes out to Preston. Preston gets it to bounce on the side of the net, but back the other direction. Odd man rush here for Lafayette if they recognize it, but just loses the puck, does Lafayette. So Gavin back the other direction, jams it to Preston. Preston will take the long shot, and that's going to be smothered by the Lafayette goalie with 10:49 in this third and final frame here. Tigers ahead 2-1 in this semifinal match. Henry will take the face-off with Steven in front of the net, Brody over by the boards. Josh will be your near side D, Marshall on the far side. Puck stays where it's at. Steven goes and gets it in the corner, sweeps it below the goal line, tries to reverse the direction there, but Lafayette next man there. He jams it up the boards, and Henry able to possess it briefly, finally twisted out of the zone by Lafayette. Tigers working to regroup. This is Marshall jamming up the far boards to Steven, who's got pressure the second he touches the puck there. Henry able to peel it back to Marshall, who sends it across to Josh. Josh looks and makes a nice pass through traffic to Steven. Steven will jam that back deep for the Tigers. Makes the jump move around the defender. Henry able to turn around with the puck, takes it back below the goal line. And Lafayette looking for that stretch pass. It is covered. Brody able to hold the zone there, but not able to collect it on the skate through as Steven, who heads for a change. Dumped into the zone by Lafayette. Josh works it in the corner, takes the contact there. Easton flies by 64 on the ice, who twisted that back. And now here goes Miles the other direction, swats it over toward Hunter. Hunter racing. And we do have a whistle. I guess they're going to say that's an icing with 9:36. Maybe an off. I guess it was an icing. Looked like he was well across the center line there, but 9:36 in this third period. They do call an icing there. It's going to be Easton in at the center for the face-off in the defensive zone. Miles sweeps in and gets that. That one for sure, cross center ice, gets it into the zone, jams it deep. It's Hunter and Miles as the wings. Easton at center, able to settle that, but just had to reach for it, so couldn't get his feet under him for the shot. But staying with it is Easton on those far boards, jams it back deep. Back on defense, it is our friend the Pie Man and Tate. Jammed around far side for Lafayette. They send it up the boards, and that does get twisted. This is going to be Pie Man having to go work. Centering pass sent aside by Tate. Puck goes into the far corner. Pie Man working there. Tate now picking up the pressure. Puck comes to the near side. This is Hunter. Easton working. Easton gathers the puck, sends it up to the other end. Gets it deep into the zone as his line mates made a change. He's buying some time for some new players to get onto the ice, and a couple of Lafayette players took each other out, ran into the net, and knocked it off. So we'll have an offensive zone face-off with 8:33 in the third period. Your Tigers will finish up the change. It'll be Colton in at center with his line mates of Teague and AJ. Back on the blue line, it's going to be Kroon on the near side and Jared on the far side. Puck again stays where it's at. AJ skates in, but not able to possess. Now Colton going to work below the goal line. AJ does have it, looking for Teague in front, but into traffic, and so the other direction we go. AJ with the stick lift to get it off of the attacker's stick. Cruin sweeps it across to Jared. Jared gets it up the far boards to Teague. Teague lifts it up where Colton gets it and flips it into the Lafayette bench with 8:03 in the third period. Colton apologizing to the Lafayette coach for firing that one at his head. coach keeping a close eye on these matchups. The advantage of being the home team is you do get last change. Coach going to send out Henry for this face-off with Brody on the near side, Steven on the far side, Josh back on defense with Marshall. Lafayette able to turn it into the zone. Steven pressures, takes the puck carrier off. Josh has it with room on that far side, makes a nice backhand pass to Brody, who gains the zone. Brody working in the corner, gets it below the goal line. Henry steps in and gets it, makes a good move there, tries the centering pass, does come up the center. Miscommunication on the defense, comes out of the zone. Marshall tries to backhand this. This is number 64, shoots it into the legs of Marshall. Can't get that through to the goalie, Ken, number 64. So your Tigers defense helping Landon out as much as they can today. That's Henry sending it up to Brody, and a huge slash behind the play that does not go called on Henry. Number 64 again can't get the shot through, so Easton going to lift that up as far as center ice. And they'll say no icing here as we reach 7 minutes in the third period. Miles and Hunter are your forwards, along with Easton, Tate, and Pieman back on defense. That one shoveled below the goal line by Lafayette, where Tate goes to get it. Easton steps in to help out. That's on the back of the cage. Does come off, and a wraparound attempt is going to work as Landon got tied up on the far side. It's going to be a tie game, 2-2 with 6:39 in this third period. Hoping that these refs start watching the action behind the play, as this Lafayette squad is doing some things that need to get called. Gavin set to take the face off. It's going to be Jack on the near side, Preston on the far side, Cruin and Jared back on defense. Sent up the near boards, takes a bounce out to Cruin's stick. He turns, sweeps that over to Preston on the far side boards. Preston jams that up to Gavin. Gavin reverses direction, twists it across ice, but can't find Jack. And here we go the other direction. Cruin picking up the pressure, gets past him, but Landon sticks it safely into the corner. Lafayette able to get it to the center, but Jack gets it, takes a look, and he'll send it up to center ice where Preston was waiting. Preston makes the move inside, but can't get the shot. Now Jared trying to send it in deeper. Lafayette was there. AJ onto the ice now for your Tigers. Cruin headed back to go get this one in the far end of the ice. He's got AJ, Colton, and Teague in front of him. AJ sends that over to Teague. Teague has space. He'll take it. Teague sweeps it into the corner. Now skates with it below the goal line into the far corner. Ridden off the puck, but still battling for it. AJ sweeps it out. Now sent up those boards to the far side. It was tapped by Marshall, so Josh going to have to go get it at the far end. He's pestered there, but takes out the attacker. So Josh creating space with his body, able to get it up to AJ, who's going to try and head up ice, sends it across for Teague, but Teague's going to make the change. Forecheck here by Colton, works out. Miles now collects the puck. Forecheck effective as the Tigers are able to hold the zone there for a while. Hunter able to get onto the ice. Colton going for a change. Miles sends it up, Lafayette sends it up near side boards. Josh gets it, sends it right back to Hunter, who gains the zone, sends it to Easton. Easton with a great shot, but fought off there by the Lafayette goalie with 4:40 in this third period. A tie game in this semifinal. It'll be Cruin and Jared back on defense. Easton will be your center with Miles in front of the net. On the near side wing, Hunter along the boards. Easton wins that back. Hunter sends it to Jared. Jared tries to send that back deep, but stopped there by the Lafayette player. Cruin on the back check. Shot and beautiful save by Landon to protect this tie game. 4:30 in the third period. It'll be a defensive zone faceoff. Coach will leave Easton, Miles, and Hunter up front, but put in Marshall and Josh back on defense. Puck is swept to the far boards. Marshall jams it up further. Lafayette sends it in off the side of the cage. Josh picks it up near side, sweeps it up to Hunter. Bouncy puck. Josh is trying to get it settled down, sends it around to Marshall. Jammed off the Lafayette's stick. Easton able to get it up as far as center ice. Hunter doing work along these near side boards. Now Easton comes away with it. He'll take it far side, trying to create space at the blue line. Kicks it onto his own stick there. Good move. Does just backhand it to Hunter, and Easton will go for a change. That comes off the side of the cage. Miles and Hunter both deep below the goal line there. Henry on the ice, so good to see him back. Into the skates of Marshall, and turned back the other direction for Henry. Nobody there, but did get it out of the zone. Brody and Steven onto the ice to join Henry. Twisted. Henry has a chance. Backhand opportunity. Backdoor left. Brody has it now. Sends it in on net. So a couple opportunities there for the Tigers, but here we go back the other direction, and this has been a back and forth affair. Puck sent to the near corner. This is going to be Josh turning, looking, sends it up to Brody. Brody tries to pass it through, but instead gets it right up center ice, takes the shot into the skates of the defender in front of him, jams it deep where Steven turns, looks, gets it below the goal line, centering pass made. Puck was there, but a breakout works. Now onto the stick of Cruin, who turns it back the other direction. And this has been a bit of a horse race. This is Cruin joined by Colton, and that'll go into the glove of the Lafayette goalie, who's going to get a offensive zone faceoff. 2.5 minutes left in this semifinal match. It is a 2-2 game.
Come on, Tigers, let's go.
Coach is going to have Colton in at center, Teague in on the near side wing, AJ in front of the net, Cruin back on defense with Jared. Colton wins that to Teague. Teague using his body to protect, eventually knocked off the puck was Teague. Now Cruin having to body off the puck carrier there, enough to let Jared come over. Colton able to sweep that out of the zone for the Tigers. He puts on the pressure. Number 64 recollects. He skates through a bunch of Tigers, but Teague able to get there and keep him from getting a clean shot. That's sent well high by the Lafayette squad. Center of the ice, Lafayette has it with 2 minutes remaining in this game. They'll send it far side where Jared's going to collect it. He sends it up far side but misses Teague. So again, Lafayette with possession of the puck at center ice. This is Colton putting on the pressure, forcing the pass up near side. Cruin gets the puck, sweeps it below the goal line, across for Jared. Jared back up for Miles this time, who's going to skate it, send it across to AJ. AJ will try and send that across ice. I think AJ looking for a change in this is Tate now going to get the puck. Brings it to the near side corner, lifts it up the glass. It's Hunter Easton on the ice again. That one's sent wide near side. It's Hunter getting it on these near boards, but pulled off there by Lafayette. Tate backhands it up as far as the blue line, but not out. That gets through traffic, and Landon able to cover that up with 1:01 in this semifinal match, a 2-2 game. Tigers looking a little bit tired. If they can find some jump here, they can do something, but they've got to move their feet. It's going to be Henry in at center with Steven and Brody as his wings. Be Josh and Marshall in at defense. Faceoff is won by Lafayette. Quick shot, gloved dead by Landon to protect the lead with 58 seconds. Puck again, one back by Lafayette. They'll say not a clean drop, so we'll try again. They'll put in Steven this time to see if he maybe can win it back, and what Steven does well is tie up to leave the puck there and try and create confusion. You don't mind that in the defensive zone, and here we go the other direction. Steven with the puck on his stick, and he'd love to have a game winner against his old squad. Brody able to get the puck into the corner here. Henry supporting behind the play, or supporting on the wall. Puck is out. Steven not able to get there to get the shot. This is now Henry whacking at it. Gets a centering pass, but nobody able to collect there. And of course, the net knocked off with 23 seconds left in this semifinal match, a tie game. We'll have an offensive zone face-off. It will be Henry taking the drop with Steven in front of the net. Josh and Marshall back on the blue line. Brody on the far side wing. Puck is one back to Brody. Brody sweeps that wide far side, near side. Steven looks over his shoulder, pins the puck in the corner. Steven and Brody are working. Brody now is closest to the puck. Comes out on the stick of Lafayette, but Steven able to jam it back, sent toward the center, but Lafayette's just going to lift it down the ice, and we're going to find out what the extra time rules are here in a semifinal match as we head into extra hockey, tied 2-2. We do have to have a winner, as this is a semifinal, and determine who's headed to the championship game. They do put 5 minutes on the clock for this initial overtime set. And it looks like it will be a 3v3 overtime affair. Of course, number 64 is going to be out there for Lafayette. Landon stays between the pipes for your Tigers. Coach going to send out the people that have been moving their feet. It looks like it will be Henry, Steven, and Josh. Boys behind the play, both creeping a bit too far in, so they stop them before the drop. Ref gets taken out. That's backhanded into the Tigers' offensive end of the ice, but controlled by Lafayette. Puck taken by Henry, but swept to number 64, who's going to make moves. He takes a shot, and Landon makes the save. Coach now sending out AJ and Easton as your forwards. Josh going to stay out on defense. Puck one to the near side boards. Josh goes and gets it, has it in the corner. Number 64 trying to create time and space, loses the puck there, and will have to regroup. able to gain the zone.
Come on,
AJ
AJ.
pressuring the puck carrier, shot take, and Landon able to make that save with 4:13 left in this overtime frame. Coach now going to send out Colton and Henry up front. Defense is going to be Marshall. Still no changes at any of the three for Lafayette. Number 64 will probably get as much time as he feels like he wants. Colton ties up. Henry able to come away with the puck. Henry makes the cross ice pass to Colton, and they'll say no icing. Colton working to body off the attacker there. Henry now working to possess the puck, has it below the goal line, and knocked off his stick by 64. This is Marshall twisting it and having to reset are the Lafayette Locomotives. Henry able to kick that one, but Marshall can't possess it. Sent back to 64 at the blue line, who dances around Colton, but can't make the move around the third man. Henry now pressuring the puck carrier, left for number 37 here, swept toward Landon, who's going to go ahead and cover that up with 3:19 in the extra set. Back on the ice for your Tigers, it's Steven and Easton up front. It'll be Josh back on defense. Steven set to take the drop. And I think I'd like to see him jam this one up the far boards, although that one is one toward the center. Josh gets it, makes the move to Easton, pass to Easton. Easton trying to create space, sends that up towards Steven, who unfortunately had turned his back to the play. And for the first time in this overtime, we don't see 64 on the ice, but Landon does cover it up with 3:01 in the set. Coach will leave Steven, Easton, and Marshall for this one. Steven ties it up, jams it back to not Marshall, but Josh. Josh with the cross ice pass to Easton, and here we go. Easton able to gain the zone, can't get the handle for the shot, but the flashing Steven can. Fought off, that might be the first shot of this overtime set for your Tigers. Steven's gonna go for a change as the puck made it down below the goal line. Easton able to hold the zone, but just misses on it there, and so here comes Lafayette into Josh. Shot sent wide of the cage there, and here goes Henry back the other direction. 64 as expected back on the ice for this Lafayette squad. Henry has time, takes the shot. That'll be covered for Lafayette in the first offensive zone faceoff with 2:18 in the overtime period. AJ going to be out with Henry and Marshall. 64 set to take the faceoff. Henry tells AJ get in front of the net. Puck stays kind of where it's at. Eventually 64 comes away with it. Henry will pressure him as he heads to the other end of the ice. He makes the move around the first man, then around AJ, then the shot, and then the goal. That beats Landon, blocker side high. And Lafayette will head to the championship on the back of their goal scorer, number 64. Your Tigers will head to the consolation match for third and fourth place in Pueblo tomorrow morning. They'll take on the winner between NOCO and the Junior Grizzlies squad that we faced earlier today. My money is on the Junior Grizzlies squad will be the team we'll face. Nothing to hang our heads about there. We took a higher ranked team into overtime and should have had the win. Overall, not a bad day for your Tigers. Have a good night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.